God damn,
So
we need to put something on paper and put some action to
Well, I
something.
mean, it's difficult. It's difficult because, as we spoke about maybe a few episodes ago, there's no accountability. If we don't hold any leaders accountable for their actions, then who's supposed to be the authority? There should be leaders.
so are
I
we
know
talking
everybody wants to be their
real?
own boss. Everybody want to be their own man, their own woman, but there should be leaders. That's how you grow. But we have no growth because we have no leaders, and we're losing more and more of them because Gen Z behind us don't listen to us, right?
Oof.
They don't listen to us. Now you tripping, old school, right? Somebody called me old school like a couple weeks ago on the court. Old school. You tripping, old school. I couldn't even play with the youngest. I'm like, man, I can't even get down. But they
That's
don't
why I
listen to
said
us.
myself.
So if they don't listen to us, we supposed to be leading them. But we got to
Yeah.
be able to be strong enough to take their criticism, to take their negativity, and keep moving forward and giving them positive message. And that's difficult, right? Because nah, fuck you, old school, whatever. Nah, nigga, shut up. Listen, like we still got to be able to engage and counter, but we don't because it's
Mm.
like, man, they ain't listening to us. I ain't talking to them no more.
You
And
brought up
then
a good
nobody
point,
learns.
though. You brought up
I
a
think
really
the
good
Gen
point.
Z are more emotionally
Yeah.
in tune than we were, though.
They
Yeah,
have no
what?
coping
Say it again.
skills.
I think the Gen Z, I think it is they're more emotionally in tune than what we were. They're definitely
What do
more
you mean by in tune?
so for example, like it was my in our era, for example, like we used to have roast sessions, right? You go to lunch table, you could light somebody's ass to smithereens. You could talk about their mother as long as they were alive. You could do that. It wasn't bullying. It was that's just what you do. It's a part of culture. It was just a part of. But these people are like, no, you have to consider other people's feelings, and that's amongst the kids of the Gen Z. They consider other people's feelings, right? So in our generation, we didn't hug. We weren't emotionally in tune with other people. We didn't tell each other. I'm sure that you guys have said, you know what, Shaun, I love you, or Hamp, I love. That didn't happen until right now. That the Gen Z are doing that now, where they're expressing their emotions more. They're telling each other they love each other more. That wasn't something of the '90s culture or '80s culture.
And you think
So
that's better?
I think it's absolutely better.
I
So
would disagree and say they're more dysregulated. Like they lead by emotion, right? So it's everything is hurt. It hurts my feelings. I'm so sensitive. I
It
can't
is
say this.
extreme. It is
So then
extreme.
it becomes this thing where it's like, now, can some of our environments when we were growing up been labeled toxic nowadays? Absolutely. I can
Absolutely.
give you a whole Facebook message and thread about some shit that probably get me fired because like it is what it is, right? But now we live in a society where you can't say shit
Yeah, it's
because it's going
cancel
to offend somebody. Therefore,
Right.
these people can't, excuse me, these kids don't, they have no resiliency, right? I don't know how to withstand tough times because I'm being taught that, oh my God, you hurt my feelings. Stop. We're going to stop everything. Everything revolves around how I feel as a person. I don't think that they care about how other people feel. It's about I'm being offended and I don't know how to do anything. So we shall shut the hell up.
Well, I
And
think it's just a matter of them leveling it out. So now we have this group of people that they're now in tune with their emotions. So now that it's going to have to be leveled out. So there was us where
yeah.
we were latchkey kids. We did what we wanted. We took care of ourselves, and we didn't really think about other people because it was only us to depend on. So it has to be evened out. It's going to happen with the next generation, whatever comes after Gen Z. But they are in tune with their emotions, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It just can't be as extreme as it is today.
The question on that, and I want to ask Q. Q, do you think they're in tune with their emotion, or do you think they're emotional?
I think that they're more emotional than they are in tune with their emotions.
Mhm.
I think that you have to know who you are to be in tune with your emotions. And I think that just even with some of the stuff you guys were speaking about before and the question you said you weren't getting an answer to, I
Mhm.
think the biggest part of that breaking that generational curse is identity. What do you identify as and who do you know yourself to be, right? So it's like if you identify as the byproduct of all the trauma you've experienced,
Mm-hmm.
then that's who you are. So if you don't put in that work to really get to know who you are as a person, do you identify as a goddess, do you identify as a king or a queen, those types of things, then you're just going to kind of follow in that same path, and maybe be the byproduct of everything that you've experienced in your childhood, which is then when you see, 16-year-old mothers happening again, and young men going to jail the way that their fathers did happening again, because they don't even know who they are. But
I think that's real. So, kind of. So, do you agree with P's point? Like they need more guidance, or do you think that Slim is correct in saying, that they have access to more things, and they can see more things and know what what's the shit does when you go to therapy, things of that nature. Like, what do you think? Is it a leveling out, or do we need to get back to maybe something more from back in the day?
yeah, I think there needs to be more guidance. I know I grew up in the generation where there was like that OG vibe, you know what I'm saying? Like you could be 12 going around a bunch of even like 18-year-olds at that time, and they may be smoking cigarettes and drinking. And you try to put your mouth on somebody's cup or somebody's cigarette, you're gonna get checked. You know what I'm saying? Whereas now you might have 18-year-olds be more inclined to not only drinking with the 12-year-olds, but probably even having sex with the 12-year-olds. So they don't have that same filter. But as far as like, resources like things like therapy, I feel like anytime somebody can get paid off of something and capitalize on it, it may not be in the best interest of the people.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.